in one of the rehearsals, he was like, I want this to be just the exact opposite of what people are going to see with Othello. Yeah. And somebody joked, oh, did Devon not tell you? It's he's making it a comedy.
Hello, we are here with Sun Sounds of Arizona in Flagstaff, Arizona, and welcome to episode 18 of Untamed Shrews Women Talk Theater, presented by the Flagstaff Shakespeare Festival. Hey y'all, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Becki.
And I'm Dawn, and welcome to Untamed Shrews Women Talk Theater.
Yay! Before we get started today, we would like to recognize that this episode does come out on June 19th, 2022, which is Juneteenth. And in case you don't know what Juneteenth is, it is now a national holiday that commemorates emancipation of enslaved African Americans. It originated in Galveston, Texas, and has been celebrated annually on June 19th in various parts of the country since 1865. And as I said, it's now a federal holiday as of last year?
I think last year. Yay! Happy Juneteenth, everyone! Have some, I think I remember last year when I looked it up, I think there was some specific foods that are traditionally eaten on Juneteenth, but I forget what they are at this moment.
I only remember strawberry soda or like a strawberry juice, maybe.
Yes, we were talking about that, yeah. So anyway, have some good foods. Grab some friends. I think we might head to the creek.
Yeah.
So enjoy Juneteenth and also listen to Untamed Shrews. Before we introduce our amazing guest, Devon Glover, the director of our summer production of Othello and the famous Sonnet Man, Shrews, let's check in. How the heck are we? How's Mr. Blake boy over there? Blake just joined us.
Yo.
Yes, Blake has just gotten up from a nap.
Oh.
Yeah, he's awesome. We're awesome. We just went to Kansas for a wedding, and he was such a good boy.
He's such a good boy.
He's smiling, yeah.
Oh, he's such a good boy. I know the lakeside photos you guys were taking. I was so jealous.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so fun. My cousin Samantha got married, and we have a really big family, and everyone showed up for her, which was so cool. We got this little cabin on a lake in Kansas, and all the cousins came and fished and chilled, and
swam.
It was just so nice as like a new mom to, have all of the women in my family present at the same time. It was such a true vacation for me because I would just feed him and then set him down on the floor, and 25 people would flock in and I would not see him again until it was time to put him down for a nap or feed him again. He was just taken care of. I just got to do whatever I wanted.
Oh my goodness.
So it was really nice, and I thought that was really special. And his great grandma was there, and his great aunt was there.
And
six great aunts were there, so it was just super fun. We had a great time.
That's amazing. So. Also, it's summer. A lake weekend is what we all need right now.
Yes.
Oh, hi, buddy. He's alarmed. He's like, I just woke up. I don't know what's happening. Am I a shrew now? Yeah. Yes, Blake, you are an untamed shrew. Yeah. Guys, remember when we started Untamed Shrews and Blake was not even a glimmer in your eye?
Oh.
And then he was a glimmer in your eye, and then he was a bump, and now he's a real life human.
He's
my God. He's a big boy now. Okay, well that's amazing. I'm glad you had an amazing weekend.
Yeah, so fun. How are you doing, Hannah?
Oh, I'm good. We already recorded with Devon, obviously super busy with the summer shows. I'm playing Desdemona in Othello. We're also doing Importance of Being Earnest, but I am not in that show, although I would love to be in that show because it sounds like it's hilarious and I can't wait to hear from Becki. I do feel very, very busy. So I'm actually really happy to only be in 1 out of 2 shows. So I've been busy with that. Obviously Ariel's keeping me busy. I'm actually doing an Ariel performance next week for the Zodiac show.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll be
yeah, you're in it too.
Yeah, I'll be doing improv.
So I'm working on some Ariel pieces. I even sent a text this morning. I think I'm going to start personal training.
Ooh.
Because I really just I've kind of hit a wall with Ariel. These biceps, they've hit a wall. So I need to start doing some outside training. And yeah, it's been a really crazy few months, weeks. But this last weekend was adult prom, which I was the MC of, which was such a blast. That was like something that I was very much looking forward to. I've also just been really looking forward to Juneteenth weekend. We have our dark day for Juneteenth, so I'm just really looking forward to, I don't know, hitting the lake or hitting the creek or something.
Going to the Murdoch. Yeah. They're having like a not like a fest,
market,
but like a market. Yeah.
They did it last year. It was really fun. So I'm looking forward to Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's summer. There's been so many fun things. Hullabaloo. Oh my gosh, your wedding, or I've been calling it your wedding. Your wedding / anniversary / baby weekend was a blast. Had a great time. That was super fun. I felt like it just became like a whole weekend. Like it was just so much more. Party. Yeah, it was so much more than just the actual party. Like we all hung out all weekend. So that was a ton of fun. And I don't know. It's just summer, and summer is making me feel much happier despite all the craziness. Goodness gracious, Dawn and I have not had a single day just to breathe, but it'll be good. It'll be okay. It'll be fun. The summer shows will happen.
Stage manager, no costume. And the only lucky thing is that we just have the most amazing group of actors and all rolling with the punches. Exactly. Well, we better hear how Becki before she has to go.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I know Becki does have to go.
To be.
Yeah, I feel
How's
like
Earnest?
So I'm in The Importance of Being Earnest, playing Miss Prism. When I told my sister that, she goes, "Oh, she sounds colorful."
Ooh.
Like Prism.
Yeah. She is colorful.
Yeah, and just being in that room, working with James Cougar Canfield, who is directing it, is just it's such a masterclass in comedy.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah, and he also did direct As You Like It. That was over video, so it was great working with him then. But theater, it's so special to be in the room, you know? So it's gonna be hilarious. I am so excited for everything to come together with it, and to just show this silly little play.
It's so silly. Looking through the promo photos we took on Saturday, I'm just like, what? Like these, like, so everyone out there, one of the big things is like Spice Girls, British everything, like keep calm, carry on shirts. Like it's the most British, and the promo photos are hilarious. Like the girls literally look like Spice Girls. I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun. And up next to Othello, it's just going to be, Othello is going to be amazing. Of course, like it's going to be an excellent play, but Othello next to Importance is just going to be like a breath of fresh air.
The juxtaposition.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. So in addition to rehearsals, I feel like literally the day that rehearsals started, I felt like I have just been like shot out of a cannon and haven't had a moment to pause or breathe or like take a break. Just, I feel like all at once, everything just, it's summer now. So like
events
and just things with work and life and auditioning and good things, of course, like great things. Happy to be in these positions, but just like oh boy, I just need an hour to like not stare at my computer for a moment.
How do humans do this? How do they have lives and careers and go on dates and have friends and also feed themselves and also go on a walk every once in a while?
Drink enough water. Yeah.
How do you do it, Dawn? How are you also raising a human?
It's impossible. I don't know.
I saw a meme the other day where it was like, my ancestors used to hunt for every meal, and I need to remind myself to drink water.
Yeah, seriously.
We have different stressors, I suppose.
Yeah, seriously. First world problems.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
No, just keeping on. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things that I have in the works professionally that have not yet panned or have not yet like come to fruition, but I'm hopeful. And just sending out good vibes.
Yeah. Callbacks, auditions. Oh my gosh, guys, Flagstaff is fully on fire.
Oh, yeah.
If you are listening to this near the time that this comes out, there are 3 fires that are, at least the last time I heard, 0% contained. So if you can donate, bring your firefighters pizza, help people relocate if they have to. Anyway.
There's a couple companies, I think, downtown who are offering, like, if you bring in a case of water, you can get a credit for them or stuff like that. Yeah.
Anyway, hopefully by the time you hear this, all 3 of those fires are out and no one has had to relocate. And so far, I don't know a ton of people who have had to evacuate, but it has not been looking great. So yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, thanks for checking in, Shrews.
To eat my face, so
he's trying to eat your face.
Yeah, literally.
And that is my exit because Blake is trying to eat my face.
And scene.
And scene. All right. Well, over to Devon.
Now let's get to our conversation with Devon Glover, the Sonnet Man.
Hi, Devon.
Hello. How y'all doing? Thanks for having me.
We're so glad you're here.
Thanks
also,
for being here.
Listen to those dulcet tones of Devon Glover, everybody. Just say something. It sounds amazing.
Welcome, everybody.
Oh, I'm so glad
great
you're here,
name.
Devon. Will you tell the Shrew crew out there a little bit about you? We're calling you the Sonnet Man, so tell everybody what the Sonnet Man is and what you're up to and what you're doing with us here this summer.
Yes, I'm an educator first and foremost, and I teach through music. I write for a company called Vocabulary, teaching many subjects through hip hop. And from that work has led to helping high schools out with literature, in particular Shakespeare. That's how I got, first started working with Shakespeare. And I now, as a career, teach and perform Shakespeare through hip hop as the Sonnet Man. Sonnets I like to work on because they are 14 lines written in the same time frame that Shakespeare wrote the rest of his canon. So if you can understand, if a student can get a feel and connect to his sonnets, is a higher comfort level once they begin reading one of his plays. So it's sort of like an introduction. It's a way to get the theater world in tune with hip hop, get the hip hop world in tune with Shakespeare and theater, and just using music as a mnemonic device for education.
That's awesome. We brought in the Sonnet Man. You. When was it? Was that 2020?
20-something.
Yes.
Full pandemic mode.
Yeah, that was full pandemic mode.
Yes.
We had a lovely little sonnet workshop with you. It was such a blast. Is that what you normally do, like sonnet workshops?
Oh, yes.
Or?
I usually I started with I do assemblies for anywhere between K through 12, depending on the grade depending on, if I work with sonnets or soliloquies or different acts and scenes of plays. But I also like to, I like to find the next Shakespeare or the next Tupac. So I have this creative writing workshop, breaking down Elizabethan writing, in particular just Shakespeare. But I also show other authors, but since I work with Shakespeare a lot, and Shakespeare is in all high schools, it seems like, just another way to show that put the students in the shoes of Shakespeare, showing that they can actually write like him too. They can share their story, express themselves in a nice creative way, where they can be they just, share their story in a special way, like how Shakespeare did, and just have some fun with it, and just the understanding of the format that Shakespeare writes, because eventually they're going to see some of his work before, leaving high school.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. Dawn, do you want to tell everybody the story of how we met Devon?
Well, I met Devon at the pre-pandemic Shakespeare Theater Alliance conference before we even knew it was coming. And we were both there for the practicum, which was, I think, about teaching.
Yes.
Yeah, education. Yeah.
It got way off topic. About teaching. And we kind of got partnered up on some activities, and then just ended up hitting it off and kind of spending some time together. So that's how I met Devon, was in person at one of the last in-person things that happened. And then we brought him into Flag Shakes, like you said, for the Shakespeare, for a sonnet workshop, which was really fun. But I just love what you just said, Devon. I fell in love with Shakespeare in high school, and I fell in love with Shakespeare because I thought, like, who is this writer who can articulate a feeling so well that it can change the minds and feelings of the people around the character who says, whatever profound thing they say. And as a teenager, you feel so incapable of expressing your feelings. And you definitely feel incapable of expressing your feelings in a way that makes an adult do anything different than what they're already doing. So the fact that you're like giving them, that idea that like not only is Shakespeare good at that, but like they can do it too. That's awesome. I'm so glad you're out there.
That's funny. I never really thought about it, but my first introduction to Shakespeare was I played Helena in like a little in class, like not even like a drama class, just an English class, like an in-class production of Midsummer. And we each did we broke up the show into a bunch of scenes. And so we each just there was groups that did the scenes. And so, of course, a bunch of people played Helena, a bunch of people, And I remember in my little scene, we made each of us like a pop star. So I just distinctly remember I had a crush on the boy who was playing Lysander. And we made him like a Justin Bieber type because, Justin Bieber was like a huge when I was a teenager. Anyway, I just remember that. And I was like, I get to like confess my love to this like popular boy. Yes, anyway, side story. But yeah, you're working with students and like so many people, their first experience with Shakespeare is Romeo and Juliet or Midsummer just in their English class, like not even a drama kid, just, in their literature class. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Part of the reason why I did this, first time I encountered Shakespeare, like I went to a great school, a great high school, but we didn't have a fine arts section. So in my English honors class, as a senior, we had King Lear. That was the first thing that we seen. Which is, if you're going to start off with a play, first off, that is not the one.
That's a hefty one. Yeah.
So needless to say, it didn't go well. Luckily, it was an AP class, extra credit we didn't need it for college. Yeah. But I don't think there was a lot of passing grades there. We
genuine interest.
We sort of checked out. So, but that was part of the reason, because it was like, when I began helping students, a few teachers asked, they were, stuck with Shakespeare, not stuck with it, but it was like, you know what, I'm not moving off the my curriculum. I'm going to teach them Shakespeare. But some of these students, if they were to fail the class, they weren't going to graduate. Yeah. So she said, the teacher that asked me to help, she was like, can you find a way to help? And as an adult, I almost said no, And actually, the first thing as an adult, before the Sonnet Man even started, the first play that I actually, the play that she asked me to help students with was Othello. So the fact that it had rhythm to it, it had a verse to it, and one of my favorite movies that I did not know was based on Shakespeare at the time was really? With Kyle Pfeiffer and Julia Stiles. I found some different ways to connect with the students, and find some interest in reading the 5-act play.
I need to watch that movie.
Great movie.
Oh, God. Were you always kind of setting it to music as well, or is that just specifically the sonnets that you?
Well, when I first started, like when the teacher asked me to help out with the class, it was really a hustle deal. Like I needed money. I wasn't teaching yet, and she heard that I performed and wrote for vocabulary, so I almost said no, but then I was like, I need the money. But when I began reading out
loud, the reason we do everything.
Hey, Shakespeare it was a business deal.
Yeah,
Shakespeare. I was gonna say the reason Shakespeare did everything.
But when I began reading it, I was reading it, watching Othello, and I started connecting some of the scenes to the movie, to the scenes of the play. Then I started reading out loud, And I was like, oh, there's a rhythm to it. Even though there was, I noticed that the end of every scene had like a couplet to it. And there was there's a couple of lines that I heard, Brabantio had a couple of lines that he would say when it was like serious, like he mentioned something to Desdemona that was like, all right, keep that in mind when you want to share. It was a couplet. Iago, he has this little misogynistic tirade when he's speaking to Desdemona and Emilia. So I started noticing that. And when a partner and we went to the school, I was like, you know what? We're just going to read it out loud. And the students, they were so uninterested. They didn't even care that they were failing. They was ready for summer school. I was like, we're just going to do it to a rhythm. We had two or three scenes that were adapted, and just to give them, I was like, we're just going to give them, Rodrigo and Iago, because since me and my partner, we were rhyming partners, I was like, let's just put this scene into like a rapping act. But we heard in the rhythm, some of the kids, they walked in, I was like, turn to page 1. But then we began reading it, and, look, if I could teach anywhere, it's Brooklyn. But it's because, I grew up in there. But they, no filter, and they love hip hop, and it's just rhythm and music. They just remind me of me. So when we were saying it, a lot of heads was staying up. I mean, same text, and they would, the noisiest boy in the class would start making a drum beat, and they would start moving. And I was like, oh, they with us. So we read the first 2 scenes, and the whole idea was like when we were done, there was no applause, there was no nothing. The students just was like, we can write a better rap than that. We can write a better rap than you. And he's like, all right, go do it.
Do it, yeah, please do.
They walked out with an attitude, but they left with the book. They left with the thesaurus. And the teacher, she hugged us, and she was like, can you come again? I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I need it. So that was it, But just noticing the text, that was the first time I seen it. And when my manager got, caught wind of which I could tell you how we met, but when he caught wind of me, he had R.G. Shaw, he had the concept of the Sonnet Man, and he introduced me to all the sonnets. And I was like, it's like a gold mine. These are all love sonnets. I'm a big fan of LL Cool J. Yeah, I'm going to age myself. Now it's Drake I compare to, all those wonderful love songs, but I felt like these all had a beat. And I was like, this could work too. So, yeah.
Oh,
nice.
That's amazing. The Sonnet Man from conception to now. How long has it been?
Ugh.
Aging himself again. Just kidding.
10, 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
10, 11 years this year, I think.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Well, we are so honored to have you. I'm so excited you're here this summer. Yes, you are my director, so I'm thrilled to talk about Othello a little bit. Yeah, so you were directing Othello for our summer rep this year. How are things going? How are you feeling? It's been a blast so far. It's been 2 weeks. Yeah, how's it going?
It's a great learning experience. I love that I have patient actors and open actors. And it was when when different theater comes, because I've been following Flag Shakes for a few years, so I know the work that y'all put on it. And when I get when I get asked to do something that I've been pursuing, MFA in theater and directing, and I would, it went from, I teach math. I have a math degree. So that's another reason why I love Shakespeare, but that's another thing.
That's true. It is a very mathematical.
Math and hip hop. He rhymes. He's considerate with his syllables.
He follows his patterns.
That was my love, my 2 loves in math and rap. But, it started with just writing songs, and it was for edutainment. It was entertainment, but a lot of teachers came to the workshops. So it started just evolving, rather than just do performances, work more in the theater field. I'm a big fan of theater, big fan of fine arts. And, this has got me in, I have so many hats, like as an playwright, an actor, and director, now, co-director. At first, so I've been working with a lot of high schools. So I was pleased when I got contacted from Flagstaff. It was just surprised to the point that I was like, yeah, I'm dropping everything to do directing. And when people ask me, what to do, I was like, you see my website, right? I do music. Hip hop is going to be incorporated. So I like the fact anybody that reaches out to me is, open minded, and so I appreciated that. And they knew that there was going to be some type of music element, hip hop concept or poetic concept to whatever direction I was going. So I did appreciate the fact that I was thought of and brought out for a summer rep. I usually just go on tour and do one-man shows, performing and doing like intermissions. So this was just a great experience, great learning experience. And the support from the company has been great. The fact that you put me onto I feel like it comes full circle. I've been trying to direct for a couple years. I've been trying to learn and, get back and get in the upper echelon to the Shakespeareans ever since Star, so to be able to direct the first play, the first piece of Shakespeare that I actually started working with education and working with students is surreal. It's like full circle right now. Just a great connection there. And I love the fact that I'm able to share my vision, and it's been a great experience sharing out the vision with the cast and everybody be able to present, give their 2 cents. So it feels like a family thing rather than I've been in shows where the director is just the
dictator.
Yeah. I was like, Hannah, I didn't think you were gonna finish that word.
Dictator, yes.
Again, Untamed Shrews, everybody. Untamed.
Yeah. I didn't want to be like that, and I wanted it to be everybody's story. Everybody knows the story of Othello. I put full faith in the selection of the cast, and I think I can work magic with anybody that I collaborate with. So nice. It's a great challenge. It's very busy, and I tip my hat to all directors and stuff that they do. But it's a good busy. I'm so happy to be sitting and working and waking up and thinking and stuff and, writing things on napkins.
Your cogs are more. I know. I always see you scribbling in notebooks.
I always have a notebook
Devon
with
is
me.
always scribbling something. I just look over and he's like hunched over this tiny notebook and it's like it's all over your screen. You're just always scribbling something.
I like the fact that I know it's not. I like the fact that everybody's rolling with the punches, and that's just the name of the game with theater being creative. I do that with my music shows. Do that with bands. There's always going to be, always have to move to plan B, plan C. I just never was the head of doing the movie.
The head of the ship.
The head of the show. Yeah. So great learning experience. As a teacher, I have some experience, leading, but I've usually do it with K through 12. So to work with some professionals and sometimes just to see the screen, see the scenes. I'm in awe because I love acting. I love watching actors, and I'm in awe in some of the scenes just through walkthroughs. So I'm like, I can't wait till everybody locks in. Yeah. It's gonna be great. So everybody's open to the vision, to the music, and it's just. I'm waiting for July 15th so much. Once I got the message, it was like, oh, I already had my checklist and my schedule and everything. We knew we were coming to Flagstaff, and it's been amazing, especially to bring a story of Othello to Flagstaff, and the fact that it's in the amphitheater outdoors. That's whenever I'm acting, I'm usually outdoors. So to make the play one with nature. It's great. So
yeah.
I'm not in the rehearsal rooms. What is the musical aspect element?
Well, it was first thing first, as soon as I got it, I immediately was like, oh, I thought they wanted an adaptation of Othello. So I already was about to just write the whole thing. I was like, I'm going to have everybody in Flagstaff rapping Othello. So we wanted the same text. When I was told it was the same text, I was like, okay, it's cool because it's 80% verse. So it all has like a rhythm to it. So and I knew that if it had a rhythm to it, I could put an underscore to it. It was just a matter of how I would mix, some of my pre-recorded work, virtual work to acoustic work, and the comfort level of the actors, who wants to be vocal, who are musicians, and how they can play it, if they can play it as a character, how can we present it. The talks have been great because we have about 4 or 5 musicians in the cast, and just whipping out ideas. I like the fact that Flagstaff they like to focus on the text, so it wasn't like I had to bring an extravagant band. I think some of the minimal earthy, if that's the correct word, earthy instruments to would just help enhance the words. I was a fan of underscores because not only do I love writing, I love composing and making music. So just the fact that we have musicians and trying to create some original work and based on the theme that we're working on, based on the pace of the scene, it's been great and inspiring. It has me making beats that I've given to. I have beats based on just the speed of the text of how people are presenting it, because no matter how fast or slow someone presents a piece, there's still a rhythm to it. And I think if different characters have different paces of how to say it is cool. Again, every line has the same amount of syllables, give or take 1 or 2 syllables. So it's just a matter of finding your flow. I have a little workshop, finding your voice through verse, where it's creative writing, but it's also how to transcribe your work to a beat, and there's different ways you can transcribe your words to a beat. Just making it your own voice, singing it, rapping it, acting it. Different patterns. I relate that to like someone, if you're trying to talk on an underscore, especially a contemporary beat that has like a 4 measure, it's like jump rope. If you see somebody doing jump rope, they just get in that rhythm, and then if they mess up, the rhythm. If you ever see like somebody rapping, I'm a rapper, they're like trying to get in that flow. They get in that rhythm, and they know when the one is coming. From the 4 measures. Right, yeah. So if they mess up, they know to just jump back in. Yeah. So I think it's just a matter of pacing, especially with the underscores. And if we have musicians, they know how to find pace and find pace in the text, find pace within the music. So I think it's going to be fairly easy to do it. Just with the talent, the extracurricular talent that my cast has.
Sometimes I find memorizing Shakespeare in verse is easier because it has that rhythm. So I'll feel when I'm off, and I'm like, oh, I'm missing a word, or I've replaced it with something that doesn't have the same syllables. Yeah, because it's got that rhythm to it.
Got that rhythm.
Yeah, and you've been talking about a lot of the large speeches, especially Othello's large speeches, because he's known as this great orator. Anywho, Othello's known as like this excellent speech giver, and like that's how he wins Desdemona and everything. And we've been talking about how there's going to be, this underscore for a lot of these big speeches, which I'm excited about. Will you also chat about more of like your concept as a whole? Obviously, I know a lot about it because I'm in the room as Desdemona, but especially your thoughts on Iago and sort of what Iago represents. I think it's a very interesting approach.
Well, I wanted to, another goal is just as a Sonnet Man is to connect Shakespeare's work to everyday life. Like, some people, when they read Shakespeare, it was like, this is written 400 years ago. Yeah. There's no way you can connect to it. But he's writing about love, deception. It's like reality TV that we watch all the time. So I wanted to connect Othello's story as if he could have wrote it yesterday. And I'm not only am I directing this, I was actually offered to write a one-man show about Othello. Hip-hop, all adapted, and I wanted Iago to represent like society, like social media, and how everybody gets influenced by social media so quick. He is the puppet master of basically every character. So I feel like a lot of people, I know the youngins who come, when I say youngins, the Shakespeare youngins, the people that are not familiar with Shakespeare, I feel like a lot of people know the basis of Othello.
Yeah.
So they know the basis of Othello. They can tell you the plot. They may not know like the characters. They can tell you the plot. So I wanted the audience to understand the text more. So I'm a fan that there was no switch in the text. There's no adaptive text, but to try to modernize it in terms of not using, the weapons within that Shakespeare used. We try to modernize the weapons with the wear and the different situations that we, the different settings that we put is try to put it into like today's settings, and also try to localize it a little bit to show it can, this can happen in any town. I'm not calling Flagstaff any town, USA, but, it can happen in any town, USA. But I feel like as a people, we all get influenced by society. Yeah. So even though this play is about Othello, and I'm a big fan, I love Othello, and I can connect to Othello. This play is based on Iago. Iago has the most lines, and it gets.
Yeah, he's the deceptive lead.
He persuades the audience throughout the whole play, and so he's like social media. He wants everybody to believe him, and I feel like he's like, he could be Twitter. He got Cassio. His words is what got Cassio lost his rank. His words are what got Brabantio out the house. All it takes is a tweet for somebody to believe, the folks' death, or, different trolls and stuff like that. So that was sort of the situation that I thought. Rodrigo, he represents, everybody's trying to get, just use money to get anything they want, and just the I don't want to say prejudice. It's not prejudice. It is, I can't think of the word, and I'm a lyricist.
Bias, prejudice.
Well, I know. I feel like with the text, the race, the race angle is there, so it wasn't a way. There was no need to enhance that, and I feel like the actors do a good job in presenting that. But I wanted Rodrigo to represent, represent just money, and how he's trying to just use money to get his way on top and get anything he wants. I like the fact that he doesn't get what he wants, but he's getting manipulated by social media. He's getting represented. He's getting ripped off by Iago, and I feel like I like the fact that we're keeping it basic and focusing more on the actors and focusing more on the text. It gives it more connection to the play. I come from a lyricist standpoint, musician standpoint, and an educational standpoint. So I feel like the movement. First off, I feel like the music will keep the audience in tune. Shakespeare has many songs throughout all of the whole canon, so I love that. And I feel like with my actors, it will give Shakespeare a better understanding. Shakespeare's meant to be seen, meant to be heard anyway. So just the fact that it's the same text, I think it gives it a better understanding. I think it's more educational at its than just reading a play. So I wanted to give that as well. Hopefully that answers it.
Yeah, no, totally. I'm really excited. I'm especially excited to see like what you're doing with the beginning. I'm not going to give too much away because I need you to come see this play. I'm excited. And I mean, just like selfishly, I'm very excited as Desdemona. Like we were talking about music, I'm really excited to sing the Willow song. We haven't talked about it much yet, but I'm really excited to sing that song. And Dawn, you've played Desdemona before, right? No? Okay, I thought you had.
Yes. No, I've never played Desdemona. I've never been in Othello.
Oh.
I have never seen a production of Othello live that I can recall, except a high school production that I co-directed here in Flagstaff with season 1 actor Jesse Baxter back when he was in high school.
Jesse.
I know. See, Jesse. playing Othello. And I directed that at co-director, like, helped direct it, really, assistant directed with Joe Maniglia.
Oh.
So that must have been 2014, but it has always been my favorite Shakespeare play. And I read it anytime I am doing Shakespeare for a class, and I teach a lot of theater. I taught middle school and high school, and now I teach college level. And I always teach Othello because it's my favorite Shakespeare play to read. I love there's a movie version from, I think, the 90s that's pretty good, with Lawrence Fishburne playing Othello and Kenneth Branagh playing Iago. And then there's Devon, I wonder if you've seen this adaptation, but my favorite adaptation of any Shakespeare play is the Bollywood movie Omkara, which is a Bollywood version of Othello.
Which we've talked about on a Shrew episode.
Episode 4.
Was it episode 4? If it's before episode now, it's always episode 4.
But so I'm so excited because I've always loved this. And whenever I teach it, I always tell students, I'm like, I'll be grateful for the day when this show is irrelevant. I'll be really glad when we don't need to do Othello anymore. Because beyond, the sort of most overt issues, which are the issues of racism and then internalized racism, there's a great deal of misogyny in this play. There is a lot of domestic violence in this play, whether that's, the sort of psychological abuse that Amelia is undergoing or the physical abuse that Desdemona endures. There are just so many issues, that, like Devon saying that, oh, here's Iago and he feels the way social media feels. I mean, wow, what a powerful statement. Like, that's always been going on. There's always been someone in the shadows telling you you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough. They have the real truth. They know what you should do. They know how you should live your life. It's really fascinating. So, I would love for one day to be like, whoa, this play's so irrelevant.
It's
we
weird.
Don't need to play anymore.
It brings up just a thought of there's a new, well, probably not new, but there's a show on Hulu that's like covering a true crime. Or I don't know I'm not sure if it's considered true crime, but do you remember the case where the two kids were in high school and the girl convinced her boyfriend to kill himself?
Oh, yeah.
It's fascinating. Like, it was all over text. And there's a new Hulu show about it. But I never even thought about it. But, like, that's literally, like, basically what Iago does. Like, he just uses his words to manipulate this, person to do, like, the unthinkable. And, Othello is... Yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, so much of like my work as Desdemona has been like, it's just so confusing. Like, Othello would never do this. Like, Othello, he only does this because he's pushed to his tipping point. And, he's known to be this amazing man and they have this amazing marriage and they're so in love. And Iago is just a mastermind. And I will say, shout out to Justice. Justice Burkett is playing our Iago and he is just killing it. Justice is an incredible actor. And if you've seen Flag Shakes Productions, you've seen Justice before, but he is doing some incredible work, and he always has something interesting to say. He's really doing an incredible job. But you made me think of something there, Hannah, because you were saying like how far Iago pushes Othello, but if we think about how far Othello has been pushed in his life before, very true.
Because he's been enslaved, he's been in wars, he's been, the things that have happened to Othello, and yet he's lived and become this strong, articulate, loving human. Yeah. It's just amazing to see that, one of the biggest enemies in our world really is, jealousy, really is spite. And that's what happens in this play. Because I was just thinking about it. I was like, man, like, how does this push Othello to the brink? Othello has been a warrior for a long time. He mentions that he was enslaved as a child. Yeah. And like the thing that pushes him to the edge is really being told he's not, not good enough. It's really being, manipulated by Iago. So I guess it also speaks to the power of love because, it's also the first time he's been in love.
And it's like, I mean, it is, the internalized racism of the, I mean, Desdemona chooses Othello and she doesn't care the color of his skin, but then Othello hears things like, well, but you and Cassio, Desdemona and Cassio are more like a predictable pair. They're more acceptable pair. So literally even Othello is like, oh yeah, duh, they're the more acceptable pair. They're they're the pair you think of. So it does not take much for him to believe it because that's what he's also been fed all of his life. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And it shows that just like a relationship like that is still, I mean, luckily we've made progress, but still in some places is frowned upon. So that's just another way of showing that, in this play.
Yeah. I mean, what was when was the loving case? I mean, only 60s? Like, late 60s
40s
or something.
To 60s, something like that.
I mean, it really hasn't been that long, at least here in the U.S. Like, crazy that this play was written so many years ago when, like, that case just a blink of an eye ago. Like, it's crazy. We haven't even touched on the fact that this is only one play of two that we're doing at the time. We're also doing this in rep with Importance of Being Earnest. But yeah, I'm so glad you're here. It's an incredible play. Shakespeare so well. I'm really excited for audiences to see Othello. I don't think has Othello. I mean, I'm sure it's been done. I mean, you obviously said you did a high school version, but I'm curious if Othello has been done here in Flagstaff at all recently. I wonder if NAU has done it.
Gina shaking her head
Othello?
no.
Yeah. Gina.
The last production I know of is the Theatrikids production.
Theatrikids. Gina.
When you said NAU, they may have like in the recent memory, but I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I know they did like King John recently. I'm not sure how much Shakespeare they do for their main stages, but anyway, I'm just excited for Flagstaff audiences to see this play, and I mean, it's summer. Come out and see these shows.
It's gonna be fun in Flagstaff.
Just touching upon a little bit with the Importance of Being Earnest, directed by James Cougar Canfield.
James Cougar Canfield.
We were in the rehearsal room the other day, and I mean, Earnest is a comedy, so we're taking it to the extreme. And in one of the rehearsals, he was like, "I want this to be just the exact opposite of what people are going to see with Othello." Yeah. And somebody joked, "Oh, did Devon not tell you? It's he's making it a comedy."
Oh shoot! Oh, that would be so bad. Oh my gosh. But you know what? Someone has in poor taste probably tried to make Othello into a comedy. Oh gosh.
I've seen a musical that, I don't know, there's a lot of jokes in it, and
not good.
Musically it was cool, but it was a little too jokey for this. So
in poor taste.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Well, we won't be doing that.
The thing they have in common is jealousy, of course. So, but it can be funny or it can be tragic and devastating. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, any last closing thoughts about Othello? We are over time.
Another focus that I had was, again, rhythm and pace. I think just working with the actors. I'm looking forward to July 15th, and looking forward to more. It's going to be creative. And yeah, again, shout out to Flagstaff for continuing their summer rep, and for bringing a young kid from Brooklyn in to start off with the first piece of Shakespeare that he began working as a Sonnet Man. So. Yes, it's going to be fun. If you like music, if you like the story, come see Othello in a different way. The visuals are going to be great. Shout out to Hannah, who's been helping out. A lot. Basically like my assistant director.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Anytime. Oh, thanks, Devon. It's gonna be a blast. I can't wait for people to see this play. I'm just excited to play Desdemona because I always play the silly girls. And Desdemona is sweet but not silly. So it is new territory for me. So I'm excited.
Yay.
Yeah.
Devon, can you tell our listeners where they can find you if they want to find you on social medias?
You can find me on sonnetman.com. I have gotten letters. Sonnetman.com. On Instagram is at the Sonnet Man. On Twitter is at the Sonnet Man NYC.
Nice.
And I have a couple of videos on YouTube. I believe it's Sonnet Man TV. That is my youtube.com/SonnetManTV. You see me with a big smile and some wonderful videos. Come get introduced to the Sonnet Man through a sonnet.
Yay.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. And my last thing is, if you want to help out Devon, we're still looking for a stage manager for the summer season. So whether you're an experienced stage manager or not, if you're incredibly organized and want to help Flag Shakes out,
yes, please.
shoot us an email.
This does go live, and usually we record so much earlier than this, but we were recording this on June 14th, and it does go live on June 19th. So if you hear this before the shows,
reach out.
Please email us. Yeah, we're having an international technician shortage.
Yeah.
Oh,
It happens.
It happens.
But we're making it happen. We're
Making
making
it
it
happen.
happen. So,
Yeah.
Totally.
yes.
So Othello, directed by Devon Glover, The Sonnet Man, is running in rep with The Importance of Being Earnest, directed by James Cougar Canfield, from July 14th through July 24th, and tickets are available at flagshakes.org.
Yay, get those tickets. Thanks for listening to this month's episode of Untamed Shrews. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Dawn.
And I'm Becki. Join us next time for an episode with Stephen Falla from the Pipe and Drape podcast. It's the only podcast about the creative minds behind the theater for the young audience's industry. And Stephen is an actor/podcast host and a friend from mine from college.
Yay.
Yeah, so we'll talk about TYA, which is theater for younger audiences, life in theater. Steve and I will probably just catch up, etc.
Oh yes, it's a good excuse.
Right. Looking forward to that.
Yay.
Follow Untamed Shrews on Instagram at Untamed Shrews Podcast and on Facebook at facebook.com/Flagstaff Shakespeare Festival. All episodes of Untamed Shrews can be found on sunsounds.org, the Flagstaff Shakespeare Festival YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. Please subscribe, leave us a review, or put us in your Instagram stories. Help support the Shrew Crew.
Yay! This episode of Untamed Shrews, starring Dawn Tucker, Becki Zaritsky, Hannah Fonts, and Devon Glover. Show art by Calliope Luedeker. Podcast theme song by Cadence Lamb. Podcast produced and edited by Hannah Fonts. Presented by the Flagstaff Shakespeare Festival and recorded with Sun Sounds, Arizona. Special thanks to our audio engineer, Gina Byars.
Yay, Gina!
Woo!
Thank you so much, Devon.
Yay, thanks, Devon.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. This is great.
Thanks. Bye, guys.